Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now we're going to talk about what happened over the weekend. Of course, Joe Biden dropped out of the race and endorsed Kamala Harris as a potential presidential nominee. Now, does that mean she automatically gets the nod? No, it doesn't. We still have to go to the convention. The convention still has to support her, which still had to happen with Joe Biden. But with Joe Biden throwing all his support behind Kamala Harris, it's pretty much a lock, but you never know what can happen. But all in all, that's what we're looking at the moment. Now, you've got a few people that have tried to throw their hat in the ring. Most of them aren't going to go anywhere. You have Joe Manchin, especially, who apparently today has said that he wants to re-register as a Democrat, even though he had switched his party affiliation to independent, and he wants to run for president now. But Joe Manchin is a terrible human being. He doesn't care about LGBTQ rights. He doesn't care about women's rights. What he cares about is his bottom line. So I don't believe the DNC is going to go for that at all, especially considering his recent switch from the Democratic Party to independent status. I don't think that's going to bode well for his saying he's a Democrat, and that I don't think the American public is going to support him. Not to mention, if anybody besides Kamala Harris ends up taking that spot in the presidential race between now and the convention, there's $100 million worth of financial support that the Democratic Party will lose. Because Joe Biden has about $100 million in a war chest, as it's referred to as, to support his candidacy. But the only person that can fall back to is his VP or somebody, the other person in the campaign, right? So if Joe Manchin or any other Democrat was to come in as the head honcho and the head of the ticket, then the Democrats would possibly lose that money. Also puts us in a legal gray area where there could be legal challenges to the Democrats even having people on ballots. Now, what I did like to see, though, I did like that the Democratic Party very quickly pivoted to Kamala Harris. A lot of people threw their support behind her. The Clintons, Obama, Michelle Obama, everybody, all sorts of, those in the, those bigwigs of the party. And even the donors came through. And you would think, oh, $60 million. Well, just a few millionaires got together. No, this is a lot of small. I mean, I'm sure there were some rich people that gave their maximums and stuff, but there's like a lot of small $15, $20 being given. So there's definitely a lot of grassroots excitement about Kamala Harris. Now, I'll talk about my fears and my concerns about the election, and I'll talk about my concerns about Kamala Harris at a later point. But I think what we need right now is positivity. I believe we need to throw throw all our strength behind Kamala Harris. I believe we need to campaign for her, and I believe we need to support her. I believe we need to get out there and let it be known that you support her. If you can't give, if you're like me and can't give, the only thing we can do is word of mouth and make sure we let everyone we know that she is the one that's going to lead this country forward. But like I said, I have some concerns about Kamala Harris, but we'll talk about that later on, probably in August. But if you ask me right now, our best hope in defeating Donald Trump since Joe Biden has dropped out is Kamala Harris, and I believe that she's going to make a good VP pick. I don't know who it's going to be. I would love Pete Buttigieg, but I know that's also, a pipe dream. It would actually make some sense to balance the ticket a little bit because people see Kamala as, as fairly far left. I think it would make sense to balance the ticket with Joe Manchin. But there are some other options out there, like Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. I think she would make a great VP pick. I think Gavin Newsom would make a great VP pick. And of course, Michelle Obama would make a great VP pick, but she's not going to do it. Honestly, I would love to see a all-woman ticket. My question is going to be, is America ready for that? We should be, but we know how people are in this country, right? But whoever she picks, I think we need to throw our support behind Kamala Harris. I believe we need to get out there, get out the vote and get people to the polls. We can't sit out here just Debbie Downing the whole situation. I have some very negative opinions that I had yesterday, and I still have some today. But I don't think that those negative feelings need to get in the way of what we need to do to get things done. I believe we need to stop and think about what we're doing. But at the same time, I believe we need to get behind Kamala Harris, get the Democrats united together. That way we can show a united front at the convention and a united front to the American people and the American voters so we can move on past the November election. The Biden administration has done a lot of good things, and I believe Kamala Harris will continue that. He's put us on a path to energy independence and trying to make us a leader in green technologies and green energy. He's created millions of jobs, brought back 800,000 jobs to America in the manufacturing area. Brought back millions of other jobs that we lost during COVID. Brought inflation down to 3% from what was at its height, over 10%. Joe Biden and the Biden administration were able to navigate some treacherous waters in 2021. With the inflation started going up at the end of December of 2020, as things started moving again in the economy, people started needing things. There were bottlenecks everywhere. Pete Buttigieg and the transportation department took care of a lot of that. And Biden did a lot to get the economy going. He got things through that I never thought I would see get through. President Barack Obama tried for 8 years, to get an infrastructure bill through to help repair our bridges and roads in this country. And he couldn't get it done. But Joe Biden and the Biden administration got it done. And I believe that's the same kind of tenacity that we're going to get out of Kamala Harris. There are people out there talking about how, she's the first black woman running a presidential campaign. And I absolutely think that's wonderful. And I think she's the woman for the job. Even though I have my doubts here and there, I think she's the woman for the job. It's going to be kind of hard for the Republicans to use they're the party of law and order when their candidate is a felon and the person he's running against is a prosecutor that put felons in prison. It's going to be hard for them to sit there and say that Trump is so great when she's the one that's gone out and convicted, gone after fraudulent schools and got them convicted in court for being frauds, including Trump University. Right? She was one of the few that went out there and fought for the people. She actually fought for homeowners against the banks after 2008 and 2007, 2008. She went after the big banks, recovered millions of dollars for homeowners. All in all, I think she's a very strong woman. I think she's full she creates hope. Do you remember that book that Barack Obama wrote back in the day called The Audacity of Hope? She brings that hope back to me in a lot of ways. She's done a lot. She'll do a lot of good. She's done a lot of good prior to being vice president, and I think she'll do really good as president. Now, we have a lot to get through. We got a few more. What is it, like almost a little over a month now, or a little less than a month before the convention starts. So she's got a lot to do to prove to the American people that she wants this job and that she can do the job. She doesn't have, you know, the last 4 years to say, "Hey, this was all me." No, she can't. But she was there supporting President Joe Biden. She was there supporting women's rights and bodily autonomy. And these things are all important. And if you ask me, there's no one else right now that's going to do the job as well as Kamala Harris. Now, the question of if she can win comes down to you and me. Do we show up to the polls? Do we show up to vote? Do we get behind Kamala Harris and go as strongly as we can into that election? Or are we going to sit here and stay divided? My suggestion is that we get united. We get united behind Kamala Harris, and we go. And we go hard for Kamala Harris. That we make noise for Kamala Harris. We get out there and we let people know that she's the right candidate for the job. Because for me, here at the Big Ranch Show, that is my plan. I'm going to put whatever doubts I have out of my mind for now, and we're just going to get behind Kamala Harris. That's what we're going to do here. That's the plan going forward. And that's who I'm going to support in this November election. Now, let me know in the comments what you think about Kamala Harris. If you're going to stand with her in the election, let me know. Anyways, if you like the content here, please hit the like button and subscribe. Hit that little bell so you don't miss anything here at the Big Ranch Show going into one of the biggest elections, if not the biggest election of our lifetime. Anyways, I'll see you down the road.